With the release of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's time for me to rank all 13 Spider-Man movies from the worst to the best. Easily in last place is Morbius. Typically, I'm more biased to this Sony Spider-Man universe, but it's an incohesive train wreck of a film that feels like it was directed by several people as it montages through its plot. It's not set up, nor is it paid off properly, and it has post-credit scenes that are just illogical. This is a movie I have no desire to rewatch among all of these movies on this list, so it easily comes in last. Number 12, The Amazing Spiderman 2. What should be a really good movie is an overstuffed and underdeveloped mess of a film. Many plot lines were cut in the editing room, such as Black Cat was supposed to be a big part of the movie, and that's cut entirely out of the movie. And it tries being about relationships as well as a Sinister Six setup film. But what really kills the movie is that the villains are really bad. Still, there are some great moments like Gwen's death, but overall, I just didn't enjoy this movie. Number 11, Spider-Man 3. This is a disappointing conclusion to two fantastic films that came before, and it's another film that had some behind-the-scenes trouble where Sam Raimi was forced to do Venom, and so that can lead to some of the most embarrassing moments in the entire trilogy. And with that said, it also still has some of the Raimi magic that these films are meant to have, but overall it's just a lackluster conclusion to what could have been a great trilogy. Number 10, Venom. A very entertaining film, but I wouldn't say that the film is actually good. The Eddie and Venom banter dynamics relationship is actually a lot of fun. However, this movie takes way too long to get going. It's like 45 minutes of clunky storytelling before he becomes Venom, and it feels overstuffed as there's several plot lines, there's time jumps and stuff like that, and the plot's not very memorable. If you could get past that, I still find this movie entertaining, but it's not very good. And then we have Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be mad at me not liking this movie, but that's just my hot take. To me, the villain in this film, Mysterio, is just the Mandarin from Iron Man 3 all over again. And the main plot's really confusing as Tony Stark is giving his glasses to a high schooler, and then Mysterio's plot is also quite confusing. It's fun enough, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth by the time you get to the end. Number 8, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is a frustrating one because I think there's a lot of things that I really enjoy about this movie. In particular, the Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone chemistry throughout it I think is phenomenal. It's a darker, more brooding version of Spider-Man, more realistic version. And there's, of course, another great score in the mix, but it feels a bit like a rehash of the Sam Raimi film, and the way it explores Peter Parker's parents just pulls me out of the movie a little bit, but I still enjoy this movie. Number 7, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and this is an improvement over the original simply because it's a lot more enjoyable because Eddie and Venom are together, their dynamic is together the entire runtime. Add to that there's a memorable villain in Carnage, Woody Harrelson just does a great job playing these psychopaths, and it's just a highly entertaining film. Not trying to be the greatest comic book movie, just trying to be 90 minutes of carnage, and it is. Next up is Spider-Man Homecoming. Our introduction to Spider-Man in the MCU is from the perspective of a person that actually feels like a high schooler. Tom Holland's just perfectly cast into this role, and it uses Iron Man Tony Stark in an interesting way, using him as a mentor to Spider-Man. There's some fun dynamics between characters. The villain is obviously one of the best in the MCU, and there's some nice themes about responsibility in a new way. And so, this is a film, while not being one of the best, is one that I can put on. Number 5, Spider-Man No Way Home. This is just a crowd pleaser of the film where I love seeing the three Spider-Men together. Of course, all the villains from the other Spider-Man movies showed up. I am so glad something like this exists. At the same time, the finale and the resolution doesn't really make much sense to me, and there is just a lazy setup in order to set things in motion. But this is still a very enjoyable film that I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video has seen this film. Number 4, the original Spider-Man. Here we have a classic origin story told by Sam Raimi, and I think he did a fantastic job with it. The villain is very compelling in Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. There's a great classic score, of course, from Danny Elfman, and there's some nicely done special effects, especially in 2002. And this movie was just very important to the genre to kickstart off the modern era of comic book movies. It was one of the 3 Marvel movies that did that, and so I just think this is a very important movie and also very effective and good. In third place, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie lived up to all the hype, and it was just something special in the world of Spider-Man. The animation here is phenomenal, where they're doing all these different styles. It explores the loneliness, the toll that being Spider-Man takes on a person, and it just manages to be this bleak, depressing story while also having bits of humor. Now, I will say what holds it back is the cliffhanger ending, but I still thoroughly enjoy what they did with it. Our runner-up is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of the greatest animated movies of all time that tells the origin story of Spider-Man in a new way from Miles Morales' perspective. And it feels like a comic book directly translated to the cinema. And it's populated with all these fun characters that you absolutely are memorable and you want to spend time with them. And something new and different in Spider-Man. And of course it has a big heart, and so I gotta include this one in my top 3. But coming in first place is Spider-Man 2. Here, this film expands upon the first film and makes it all better by exploring Peter Parker's life struggles. There's also another great villain in Doc Ock, who's not really a bad guy, he's just overtaken by these machines. There's awesome action sequences, in particular the train sequence in the middle of it, and it's very satisfying. It pays off so well, and you feel all the emotions swell out. And it develops all the characters more. This is everything I want a Spider-Man movie to be, so it is my favorite of the Spider-Man movies. There you have it, that's my ranking. Down below in the comment section, share your ranking. Over on my channel, I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. I will see you in the next one.